Welcome back to the deep dive. So I want you to just picture this for a second. You've got the popcorn, you've settled in for movie night.
The perfect setup.
Exactly. But then, maybe 30 seconds in, you find yourself just hitting pause again and again, frantically trying to read the subtitles.
It's that speed trap, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a struggle pretty much every serious English learner goes through.
Yeah.
The actors talk so fast, sometimes they mumble, they use slang, and then suddenly you realize, wait, I've missed the entire point of the scene.
And that feeling of your comprehension just dropping to zero,
Right.
it's overwhelming.
It is, and it's completely normal to feel that way. But you can get past it.
Right, because the usual reaction is to just give up and leave the subtitles on forever. But our mission today is to show you a different way. We're going to unpack the stories of two learners, Jake and Sarah.
And their journeys really show a powerful truth. It's not about needing better English to understand movies.
It's about needing a better method.
Exactly. We're giving you a shortcut today. We want to pull out their successful strategies and give you a clear, actionable blueprint to go from, depending on that subtitle safety net, to really understanding rapid dialogue.
It's about working smarter.
Not harder.
Okay, let's start with Jake, because his story and his initial failure is just so relatable. Jake was 14, completely obsessed with action films, Marvel, Spider-Man, The Avengers.
All the fast-paced, high dialogue stuff.
Totally. And he sits down to watch Spider-Man, Homecoming, and he's determined. He's thinking, this is it. I'm ditching the subtitles.
A noble goal.
Yeah.
But it's an all-or-nothing approach that it can backfire.
And it did. Within just the first 5 minutes, he wasn't just missing a few words, he was completely lost.
He was hitting specific vocabulary that just shut him down.
Right. Think about the words in a superhero movie. He's hearing things like neighborhood, mission, even technical stuff like protocol.
Not your typical classroom vocabulary.
Not at all. So every time he heard a word he didn't know, he'd pause the movie, pull out a dictionary, try to guess the meaning.
And that's the trap. He's not practicing listening at that point. He's just practicing translation. It's exhausting for the brain.
Yeah, his brain never got a chance to just absorb the natural flow of the language. And after, 20 minutes of that stop-start, he was just tired and frustrated.
He concluded it was impossible.
Why can't I understand English movies? But what's so interesting is that it wasn't about his English ability. It was his technique.
He was trying to run a marathon without any training. The real shift happened when his teacher gave him some advice.
And it was really simple advice, wasn't it?
So simple. The teacher just said, look, stop treating the whole 2-hour movie like one big test.
Start small.
Start small, use the subtitles, but use them strategically. Repeat scenes, practice every day.
And that was Jake's big aha moment. He didn't need more grammar rules. He just needed a better method.
He needed to trade that exhausting, broad approach for something intense and focused.
Which brings us perfectly to Sarah, because she's the one who really built the blueprint for this.
Right. Sarah loved romantic comedies, like The Princess Diaries.
Which have that really fast, witty, overlapping dialogue.
Exactly. And she felt that same sinking feeling Jake did. Will I ever be able to keep up?
But she didn't give up. Her strategy, and this is what we really want you to focus on, was what she called the microclip.
Instead of a 90-minute film, she chose one single scene. Just a short 2-minute segment.
Okay, hold on. Why only 2 minutes? It feels almost too short to really do anything. I mean, if you have more time, wouldn't 10 or 15 minutes be better?
That's a great question, and it really gets to the core of this. It's all about cognitive load. 2 minutes is the sweet spot.
Okay.
It's short enough that you can hold the entire conversation in your working memory.
Yep.
If you try a 5-minute clip, by the time you get to the end, your brain is overloaded and you're already forgetting the beginning.
I see. So 2 minutes is manageable. It's not intimidating.
Exactly. It's repeatable. And your brain is actually processing, not just trying to survive.
All right, so let's break down her daily routine, the 4 phases that you can adopt right now.
Absolutely. So phase 1 is the setup. This is essential. You watch that short clip, but with the English subtitles on.
So you're reading and listening at the same time.
Yes. You're building that bridge in your brain, connecting the sound pattern of the words to the written text.
And then immediately after that comes phase 2, the testing phase.
You watch the exact same clip again, but this time subtitles off.
Ah, okay.
And the key here is it's okay not to catch everything. In fact, you should expect not to. Your brain is just being challenged to remember the patterns it saw in phase 1.
You're checking what's stuck in your memory.
Precisely. And this is where it gets really powerful. Phase 3 is high repetition.
So she didn't just move on to a new clip the next day.
No. She stuck with that same 2-minute clip. She'd watch it multiple times a day, maybe 5 or 6 times over several days.
And that repetition is the magic trick.
It's the cognitive magic trick, yes. You're moving that information from your fragile short-term memory into long-term pattern recognition.
So those fast sentences stop sounding like just noise.
Exactly. They start sounding like recognizable chunks of sound. It's like practicing a scale on a piano until your fingers just know it. You're giving your brain that fluency of recognition.
So we're training our brains to hear a whole phrase as just 1 or 2 sound units, not 20 separate words.
You got it. And that leads right into the final phase. Phase 4 is active speaking.
Imitation.
She would repeat the lines out loud, trying to match the actor's tone, their emotion, and especially their speed.
I feel like this is the step everyone skips. Why is copying the speed so important for listening?
Because if you can't physically make the sound quickly yourself, your brain has a much harder time processing it when someone else does.
Ah, that makes sense.
When you practice how words blend together in fast speech, you're wiring your brain to recognize those same blended sounds when you hear them. It turns listening from passive to active.
So after a few weeks of this, just 5 or 10 minutes a day, the payoff must have been huge.
It was. She watched a totally new scene without subtitles and, for the first time, understood most of it. It wasn't magic. It was just disciplined, short, focused practice.
So let's distill this for everyone listening. We've pulled together a clear 5-step guide from Jake and Sarah's stories.
Let's start with step 1. You have to lower the difficulty.
And I mean really lower it. You can't start with a Christopher Nolan film. The dialogue is too fast. The syntax is complex.
And always whispering.
Yeah.
Yes. You need to start with media that's designed to be clear. We're talking animated films.
Like Finding Nemo or Frozen.
Or even better, start with a show like Peppa Pig.
And I think that's a great point. Why Peppa Pig?
Because the characters use exaggerated articulation, the sentences are very simple, and they repeat common phrases over and over. It's foundational. If you master that, you've built the base for everything else.
Okay, that's step 1. Then step 2 is the subtitle immersion phase.
Right. For your 2-minute clip, turn on the English subtitles. Read and listen at the same time. Pause, rewind, do it as many times as you need until you can follow along easily.
And step 3, test your recall, has to happen right after that.
Immediately after. Turn the subtitles off and watch that same clip again. Your short-term memory is still holding onto the text, so you're forcing your brain to match the sound to the word it just saw.
It lowers the frustration because you know you've just seen the answer. You're just applying it.
Then, step 4, active imitation.
Copy the characters.
Yes. Repeat the lines out loud. And don't just mumble them. Try to match the energy, the pauses, the speed. When you practice saying, "What's up?" at native speed, you'll recognize it instantly when you hear it.
Okay, and that brings us to the final step. Step 5 is the vocabulary shortcut.
Yes. Stop trying to learn every single obscure word. Instead, focus on high-frequency phrases, the chunks of language that people use all the time in movies.
You're talking about things like, "What's up? Let's go, I'm in."
Or, hold on a minute, exactly. When you learn those as a single unit of meaning, your brain processes them much faster. You're getting the intent, not just translating the words.
So if we pull this all together, the core message is really about consistency over intensity.
Definitely. You don't need to understand everything on day 1. Your goal is to start small. Find that manageable 2-minute clip and just commit to that daily high-repetition practice.
Short, intense bursts will always beat long, draining study sessions.
Right. And if you think about it, the success of Sarah's method came from internalizing the speed and patterns of the language through just 5 or 10 minutes of intense repetition. And that raises a bigger question for you to think about beyond just learning English.
Okay.
If applying this very specific microclip method can unlock something as complex as movie dialogue, what other subjects in your life, things that currently feel too fast or confusing, could you master by breaking them down into 2-minute focused intervals for daily study?
That's a great thought. It's all about finding that right container for the knowledge.
It is.
Go find your 2-minute scene and start training your brain today.